hope you're doing good. Let's get that light out of your face. So this is the final piece, part 8, in a series called Identifying Yucky Predatory People. I'm just going to say Identifying Predatory People. And this is a topic or a thread that runs through the entire book of Gavin de Becker's book called The Gift of Fear. I really wish you'd read it. It's just so good. There's so many good things to get out of it. One of the things I love about Gavin de Becker is that when he talks about the gift of fear, he's meaning pure, unadulterated fear that causes you to act. Living in constant fear, thinking that bad things are always going to happen is a curse. Okay, so we don't want to live that way. But if you know what you're looking for in people, then it is a gift because you can see things before they're going to happen and exit, before you get into a bad situation. And many of you know that I just have a passion to get to you before the brokenness happens, before this, bad relationship happens that might possibly derail your life. So I want to teach you the things that many of us at my age wish we knew when we were your age. I would give anything if I had the knowledge back when I was maybe 15, 16 years old that I'm trying to teach you now. Okay, so please sit up and pay attention. I'm not trying to say that I'm like Miss Smarty Pants or anything like that. I'm trying to pass on to you my own personal experience and the experience of others. I have a lot I want to say to you so that it's in hopes that you don't end up like some of us have in very bad situations that are life-altering. Okay, so this one is huge in its instinct. Some people call it a gut instinct. Some people call it a creep meter. I kind of call it a creep meter. I kind of coined that term when my girls were young so that we could kind of quantify something like how bad is your creep meter going off? Are you at a 2 or are you at a 10? So when you have anything more, anything other, I should say, than a warm, fuzzy feeling about somebody, any hesitation, any confusion, any kind of like this pit in your stomach, anything even that you're trying to even put out of your head that's kind of parked over here, that is something to pay attention to. Do not ignore that. That is the most primal thing that we have. That is what keeps us alive. That's what God put in us to keep us alive. So if you ignore that, you're going to be in a bad situation more times than not. So I'm going to tell you a little story about, again, my own personal life. So when I was young, my twin sister and I roped with my dad. We were team ropers, and my sister and I were headers, and we headed for my dad. And so we trained, a few horses here and there. We basically what I'm trying to say is we learned how to read horses out of necessity long before we ever knew how to read people. And in that industry and in ranching and farming communities, you have to push through an incredible amount of fear when you have a 1,200-pound animal throwing a fit underneath you and you have something to accomplish. You have to get it done. So even though, you might not be in a roping arena, you might be on a ranch and you're trying to get, you're gathering cows for branding, and, you might have some cows that are stuck down in a boggy coulee and you got to get them out. And there is no such thing as coming back without them. You have got to get this figured out. They don't care. It's about results. And so we learned how to read horses so we didn't get hurt or killed, or someone else didn't get hurt or killed, but we never figured out how to read people. And what we learned is that we pushed through fear. And the more dangerous, the better, and the more nod we got, more nod of approval we got, because it was dangerous. And you're like, yeah, you did that, right? Well, the problem is when you apply that to people, you're not supposed to push through fear. You're not supposed to push through bad feelings. You're supposed to sit up and pay attention and go, this is a bad idea. Pushing through this is dumb. And I didn't know that. And so I've ended up in some bad situations because I didn't know how to read people, number one. Number two, I was taught to push through fear and bad feelings. Not good. At all. So I learned the hard way, and so have many of my friends, many of my clients over the years. If you know anything about me, I've done hair for 23 years. The experience that I'm bringing to you is not just my own. It's the experience of my clients that I often had for 10 and 15 years. So I got to see how the decisions of their lives played out. It changed how I do everything, because what I thought would turn out didn't. And what I didn't think would turn out did. And it was like, wow. And it became, I could see patterns, right? Well, I see a pattern consistently of people who do not trust their instincts. If you're dealing with a person, whether it's a person that you just met, or someone that you're might going to do business with, or maybe somebody that's maybe interested in you, or possible friend, if you don't have a very good feeling about that person, then you need to take a step back, like a really big step back. And depending on the situation, it might be better just to exit the whole thing. It might just be better to just be like, no, I don't want to stick around and figure out why I feel bad. That's the point of the instinct. Okay, so in one of the other videos, when I talked about niceness does not equal goodness, and I said, you will never see a rabbit on the same trail as a mountain lion and sit there and stare at him and go, well, he seems nice. But people do it all the time, and that's part of instinct. That rabbit is not ever going to be convinced that that mountain lion doesn't want to eat him, right? But we, especially really soft-hearted people, I'm not even going to say women, because my man is an incredibly soft-hearted man. And, he has, looked at people and went, they're so nice. And been fooled, and so have I. And, it's just hard. It's hard to determine who is nice versus who is good, who is both. So if we have a bad feeling about something, it's there for a reason, okay? So it doesn't matter what gender you are. It makes no difference. So just be aware. If you have a bad feeling, do not stick around to figure out why the bad feeling is there. Now, the defense to that is either exit the situation if it's appropriate to do so. Sometimes you're going to have to say, this just doesn't feel right. Maybe you're already in a relationship with somebody and you're like, this is not good. And I just, if I'm being honest with myself, my creep meter is going off. My gut instinct is telling me that this is not going to go well, and I don't know why. And maybe I do know why, but I'm just not willing to face it. Say to that person, listen, this doesn't feel right to me. And I need to end this. And I'm not asking you to understand. I'm just saying this is what I'm going to do. So we're done. I don't feel good about it. That's all I can say. People can't argue with, the fact that you don't feel good about something. Now they will try, but oftentimes if they're going to argue with you about it, you go back to the other one where it says discounting no is a big red flag. Most people that won't accept no are not good people. It is never appropriate to run over somebody's boundaries, right? So if you say to somebody, I am not going to do this anymore because it doesn't feel right, and they want to argue with you about it, well, now you have 2 red flags. Okay, it's just stacking up. You're building a case, really, like, okay, I do feel good about this. I do feel good that we're ending this situation. Is it the best thing I could do? One time when I was younger, I had owned a couple salons, and the second one I had a bad feeling about, and I just thought it was going to be fine, and it wasn't. So this can happen in any situation that you're in. It can be anything. Okay, so listen to your gut instinct, listen to your creep meter, whatever it is that you want to call it, and teach those around you to do the same thing. Start talking that way, like, I don't feel good about that. Start to, instead of thinking, apply feeling, like, I don't feel good about that. Okay, that is a fact. That is a fact. You don't feel good about it. Okay, the facts are what's important. Do not override the fact that you don't feel good about something. Okay, so be really careful about that. All right, so anyway, I just love you all. If you guys have any questions or comments or want to know more about a specific topic, please message me. The best way to get hold of me quickly is Facebook Messenger or Instagram, either one. But I'm also going to do some more on just the relational stuff of how can I help you keep yourself out of a mess, okay? How can I teach you more things so that you don't end up like some of us have? So please be watchful for that. And again, if you have any questions, just send me a message. Love y'all. Bye.